Welcome, my friends, to another 8 ends. This is your host, Ryan Olson, bringing you Championship Sunday from the Mixed Fours tournament of the 2025 doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg. Seeing some guards for the first 4 rocks of the end. The semifinal contest between Team McDonald throwing the red rocks, or the yellow rocks, my apologies, and Team Raju throwing the red rocks. And it looks like the lead for Team McDonald threw a draw right on top of the shot stone in the rings. Looks pretty good. Up next we have David Betts for Team Raju. Team McDonald has the hammer. They did throw last rocks, as it were, to determine who would have hammer in this semifinal contest. And it looks like David is drawing to the top of the rings. Camera angles are slightly different because we're on a different sheet. Apologies if it's not quite perfect. Definitely do my best to try to give us the finest quality product possible. And I always wish I had like 5 or 10 more minutes. And I definitely understand the quote from Lorne Michaels from Saturday Night Live, and that, you know, they do the show because it's live at 11. I think essentially saying that, you know, this is what it is. Abby Lynn tapped out that Betts red. Looked pretty good as we see David's next shot. We have 2 games on the ice for this semifinal round. The other game on sheet B, available on the Coyotes Curling Club YouTube channel, is Team Maxi taking on Team Barajas. We'll keep you updated on that game, but you can also tune in if you wish. But I'm also glad you guys are here. It's like of all the gin joints in town, you chose this one, and we're happy you walked in. So Abby Lynn is throwing her second rock. Doing some updates in the background. Apologize for any awkward silence as we see Sebastika Thanga Durai throw her first. Known as subs to 1 and all. Gonna hit the yellow. It jams on the red, but it's enough to push the yellow to the back of the house. And now the third for Team McDonald is Darren Campbell. And it looks like they were going to try to do the hit. It makes contact, and the shooter rolls towards the left wing. So it looks like it's Raju sitting 1 and 3, with McDonald sitting 2, 4, 5. So I think it looks like Raju wants to have subs pick out that front yellow, reducing some cover in front of the center of the house, and also getting rid of one of the McDonald counting stones. Looks pretty good. And indeed, the yellow in the rings goes out of play. Good shot. So now Raju's sitting 1, 2, and McDonald has 3, 4, 5. So there's a decent number of rocks in the rings, but they're all in the outer perimeter, as it were. The outer limits, which is a throwback to people who watch TV in the 90s or the 60s. Although the narrator at the top of the show says that they control the signal, and I guess we sort of do. That was a good takeout from Darren. I'm not quite sure about the horizontal or the vertical. I'm sure that Darren Campbell did execute that takeout well. So now all the play is drawn to the left of the house, as we see P.N. Raju gets set in the hatch. Looking to, I think, draw around that high center guard. This is Raju's first. It's a fascinating thing about this tournament. We had 16 teams start the event Friday, and 8 teams made the playoffs. The top 2 finishers in each pool. We had 4 pools of 4 teams apiece. This is coming up a little light, which isn't too bad. I'm curious why McDonald doesn't want to maybe try to pick out that that red on the left. Because if she were to pick out that red on the left, I mean, she'd be sitting 2, maybe 3 or 4. But she's also leaving the middle open, and that might be why she's doing this choice, to draw on the right side of the sheet. So this is Andy McDonald. We've seen her in the finals before. Definitely kind of one of those teams that puts in the work, and at the end of the weekend is usually in the hunt, as she is today. So they were looking to get to the center of the house first. And that, I suppose that made sense. It's early in the game. And by getting there first, although it's exposed, so Raju's going to probably take it on. Maybe be content to maybe just tap it. I think he wants to sit on. Well, he just wants to make it go away. I would think that that red on the left is dangerous. The yellow that Abby, is it Abby that's holding the broom? No, it's Sub holding the broom, and Abby's on the other team. So Subs holds the broom. So I think he wants to stick around. B shot rock, and that would probably be the best outcome. If he rolls too wide, then the door is open for McDonald for that possible multiple point store. So Raju's rock is away. I think just looking for a soft weight takeout. And it does, it does run the shot stone back, but it jams on the yellow in the back. So that looks like it might be second shot. So McDonald could get her two this way just based on a very small mistake by Raju. But the angle of attack was a lot narrower because you had the front guard and you don't want to be too wide on the right and maybe risk rolling too wide. So this seems like possibly the best outcome for Raju. But I do believe McDonald has a chance for two. The camera doesn't tell the whole story. As we see the last rock coming now from Andy McDonald. I believe a hit for two. Sweepers are on it. It's really curling. They need a piece of the red. Oh, and they missed the red. So now it could be a steal of at least one. They're looking to see if it's two. And they're kicking the rocks. So it's at least a steal of one. And we'll wait to see what they put up on the scoreboard as we take a pause in the action. And we'll be back in just a moment. The 2025 doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg is presented by doubletakeout.com. Throughout the curling season, proprietary Ken Pomeroy updates the results from various curling events and creates a ranking of the top men's and women's teams from around the world at doubletakeout.com. And by curling.gg. Before and after a curling game, teams wish each other a good game. Curling.gg users can recreate various simulations to determine their best good game. And by Endgame Curling, manufacturers of brooms and other curling accessories, including a travel broom that collapses into thirds that could be packed into a carry-on suitcase at endgamecurling.com. Now, the scoreboard is right there, but they didn't put up a score. Although we do see the lead rocks coming for Team Raju. This is Megan Armstrong. Going for the outturn draw into the rings, it looks like. Right on top of the lid, biting the button as it were. So Brian Feldman Jr. is throwing his first rock to the end. And Andy wants him to draw right on top. And it's a little offset. As we see Megan's next rock. Megan has been curling for a decent number of years. "36 to be precise." And she does manage to take out that yellow and roll right. So now there's two Raju reds in the rings. So we see Brian Feldman Jr.'s second stone. He's the third Feldman in this event. Both of his parents are here. They're playing on Team Hazard that hailed from Lake Tahoe, Epic, Curling, and Wine Country. So Feldman did a bit of a tap back. Kind of moves the stones around a little bit. Man, one of the teams had cool nicknames that we didn't get to say on air. Maybe next time. This is David Betts' first. There's a bit of a separation between the rocks and the rings, and so Betts is going to try and hit that out. And it looks pretty close. It gets, I think, both of the rocks and the rings moving, but still a good outcome. The remaining rocks and the rings are Raju's. And there's a bit of separation between the two. Not an easy double. As Abby Lynn gets set. The second for Team McDonald, been curling for 9 years. Brian Feldman Jr. jumped on that stone as soon as out of hand. And looks like it's going to make a hit, and where's it going to end up? It just rolls slightly open. So, but a good takeout. And it does give Raju a shot, so he's going to take it on. Or we're going to ask David Betts actually to take it on. David Betts has been curling for 6 years. A lot of experience in the region and beyond. As he does hit the yellow, and then the shooter rolls to the right, still very much in the rings. As Abby gets set. So her experience includes being at the mixed playdowns last year, playing second. She's also been to the World University Games, or she will be going to the World University Games. Also the Youth Olympic Trials in 2019. Does make that in-turn takeout. The shooter does roll away. So Raju is looking to see how he can complicate the scenario in the rings and make it much harder for McDonald to score a single or multiple points. Try to hold McDonald to a single point if you can. But this is Thangna Durai with her first. I think Raju wanted a tap back. But I think being in the rings with some separation to not create a double would be satisfactory. So he's asking for it to be like right in the top of the 12 foot. It's touching the house, so it is a counting rock. There's a bit of a separation. but it's in a position where Darren Campbell can attempt the double takeout, which is the name of the game as well as the name of the tournament. As Darren Campbell gets set, he's the vice, been curling for 3 years. He won the Kansas City 5 and Under in January 23 while skipping. Looking for a double here. He's got one, and that's all. The shooter rolls to bite at the top of the center. Top of the center, yeah. The center top, I guess. I hope you guys know what I mean. So he got one. I think he was hoping for more, but it definitely does help improve the situation slightly. Raju has the broom down for subs to just pop out that yellow. And consider that yellow popped. So it does open up the rings. And now we're looking like a blank here. McDonald's trying to hit this red out with Darren second. And then Raju, well, ideally this McDonald rock will stick around. And then Raju will hit the McDonald rock out, and then McDonald would have a chance for a blank at the end of it. So the hit's made. The shooter's going to stick around on the wing, which is actually, I think, a pretty good place. And I say that because when you do this kind of hit game, you want to try to put rocks, either find a place to hide the rocks or put the rocks in a position where it's hard to hit out. And you might not think it's hard to hit the rock on the side of the rings, but believe you me, it can be tricky. Even the top players can miss that far out sometimes. It doesn't happen often when you're at the top level, but it does happen. As we see Pia and Raju deliver his first. He's probably has the most international experience, arguably. He has 60 international caps for India at World Curling events. And let's see if this hits there. It looks pretty good, but it looks like it's going to roll out. Oh, no, it's right on the nose. That's a great shot from Raju. And I say arguably most international experience because we do have some Canadians or former Canadians. So arguably, is it foreign experience when they played for another country and then moved here to the U.S.? It's a quandary. I'm also using my word power thesaurus today. So, still trading hits back and forth. McDonald is trying to try to hit the red that's now on the left wing there. Andy McDonald and this team, or at least I think the women on this team, are going to be going to the World University Games in Turin or Torino. So McDonald does make the hit, but the shooter rolls away. She really wanted to stick around because now Raju can put the rock anywhere, which isn't too bad. So Team McDonald is going to be going to the World University Games early next year in Torino. And she wanted me to let everyone know that Team McDonald does have a Instagram page, and they're also running a merchandise fundraiser to help offset the travel costs. And that merchandise sale concludes today. So more information would be on that Team McDonald Instagram page. They're also on Facebook. But Facebook is for olds. But thank you for finding us on Facebook, everyone. or YouTube. This is the last rush from Pia and Raju. Going for a draw. This out turn looks like the weight's pretty good. Settling just behind the tee line. And so McDonald's going to take it on. And the question is, how does she hit it to try to blank the end? And they did post the score, by the way. Raju did get that signal. So this is McDonald's last here in the second. Going for a blank. Choosing for the out turn. And the reason like how to hit it, you know, she's hitting it on the side of where there's a lot more house. And so now the hit needs to roll a lot further. But it rolls enough for the blank. That was a good takeout to the blank the end. So we are going to take a 1-0 score. And McDonald's going to carry the hammer to the second end, or the third end. When we come back to the 2025 doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg. While they get set for the third end, let's check on the game on sheet B, where they looks like they blanked the first two ends. So we got a blank fest happening on sheet B. I wonder what you would be at a blank fest. Like stationary. What else would be blank? Not quite sure. Let me ask really quickly, not about blank fest, but who has hammer? Not quite sure who has hammer. As we see the opening rock for Team Raju heading down the ice. That was an out-turn draw. Ends up in the top of the rings. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. So it's Team Maxey, the team from Coyote, San Francisco, and capital of South Dakota, with the hammer. They blanked the first two ends, going against Team Barajas. They are a San Francisco rink. And we're going to be in San Francisco next month for the club playdowns, men's and women's, as part of the 2025 doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg. We see Brian Feldman put up a good guard. Good guard, y'all. So Maxey blanked the first two ends. There's a lot of rocks in play this end on sheet B. So I'm going to anticipate there not being a blank this time. But the world never knows. Net strike coming from Maiden Armstrong to the lefty. I think looking to perhaps draw right on top of the red rock that she just threw. Hoping maybe for a slight tap back, but just being right on top would be best. So there's like a little cluster of reds in the top of the rings. And McDonald is choosing to ignore it, which makes sense to try to generate some offense. Or offense, depending on who you ask. So Feldman Jr. has been curling for 8 years. He was featured on a curling club billboard during the 2018 Olympics. And that would have been the Pyongyang, South Korea games, where John Schuster won curling gold for the USA. And it looks like that draw round was pretty successful. Raju can get to it, but he is actually going to take it on right now. Going for a soft weight takeout from David Betts. It's over curling. I think it might be on the guard. So McDonald's going to jump on it to try and sweep it out. And she does sweep it out. So this is a 5-rock violation. Or a 5-rock rule violation. The rod positioning it might be slightly, it's pretty close. So for the first 5 rocks at the end, an opposing team cannot hit out an opponent's guard that's not touching the house, essentially. If the rock is hit, the non-offending team has 3 choices. And one of the choices is to let the rocks remain where they played out. They can also take out the offending rock and reset all the stones that it touched back to their original positions. Or, and I always joke about this, but it's an option, the non-offending team, which did not cause the foul, can say, here's where the rocks would have gone had you not touched it. Well, actually, that's a different rule. Ha! I'm still waking up, guys. That's the burned rock rule. There are not a lot of rules in curling, but I somehow confused them both. No, so the guard zone violation, if I remember correctly, the only option is to reset the rocks. So my apologies about screwing that up. You think I would know more. So Abby Lynn threw a good front stone to protect the shot stone. But David Betts got some good bounce back from his first shot by throwing a clearing stone. And that shot was made. The shooter was lost. So now it looks like McDonald is asking Abby to take on that pile that's in front of the house. Weight's a little soft. It's going to move him around, but not too far. Actually, that worked out pretty well. Maybe not as much as McDonald was hoping, because it did unlock one of the reds. And I think what McDonald was aiming for is to have that little bit of a roll on top of the shot yellow on the left or the right from this view. And unfortunately rolled a little too far, so now yellow is still the shot stone and protected. Or open, pardon me. As we see Subs' first rock going for the takeout, and it looks like it was made. And the shooter's going to roll right on top of the button. And so just like that, Team Raju is sitting 3. As Darren Campbell gets set. With his first rock of the end. Looks pretty good. They're going to clear one. Is they're going to get both moving. Well, just both moving, but is the second one going to go out of play? It does. That's a great shot. Pretty darn close to a double takeout. Does really improve the situations. Now Raju is sitting shot on the left, but it looks like yellow is stuck around, and so Raju wants Subs to take it on with another trademark Subastica takeout. It's going to hit and it's going to roll slightly. I think bite the top of the rings. So it's another good takeout from Subs. So on sheet B, it does not look like there's going to be a blank this end. Barajas appears to be sitting one, but there's two Maxi Reds that can be brought into play, but they're actually providing something of a backstop for Barajas. And it looks like we are to skip stones on sheet B. As we see the nets right coming from Darren on our sheet. Looks a little light. It's trying to get into the rings, I believe. Is it going to be shot? It is going to be shot, but it is open. So now Raju is going to try to pluck it out like a jewel from an orb or a chalice. So on sheet B, this sheet B is streaming on the Coyotes YouTube channel.
Oh boy.
Looks like a draw. Is this the last rock on B? They have one more? Okay. So that was the first of the two skip stones from Jesus Barajas. And so they're sitting one, and they put up a guard to kind of to secure a potential steal. And this is Raju's first. Oh my goodness! It crashes on their red guard, but then it rolls to the other side of the rings, and is shot. So it looks like they did. So there was some pinball action. It promoted the yellow, or actually tapped it wide right. I know words. I speak good. Maybe. Not a bad outcome, especially as Raju is shot, but it is exposed, and McDonald's going to try and take it on. On sheet B, the last rock from Matsy, trying to, I think, maybe run one of the, going through the port. Oh, and it jammed on the guards. Oh, Matsy had the hammer, so that was the last rock. So after two blanks to try to set up a multiple point score, Matsy ends up giving a 1 to Barajas. On our feature sheet, it looks like McDonald may have missed her shot. And so now Raju, I think, is going to try and just draw on top of that yellow.
We'll have to unclutter the car. Yeah.
So this is an unfortunate shift of circumstance for Team McDonald, but an opportunity for Raju. Looking to draw just to make sure it's sitting second shot or shot. Subs. Subs tapped right in front of the yellow. This is coming in a little heavy, but it looks like it might end up in a decent place. So it's good for shots. So The question is, what does McDonald want to do? She could try the crosshouse double 4-2, which is what she's lining up. This is a risky shot. You know, you have to kind of weigh the risk-reward equation because she could nose the red on the right for a single point, but that doesn't give her 2. This crosshouse double is the only way to get 2 points here. The downside is that she could hit and roll wide. She can miss, but also the shot may not be as risky as I may think, because even if she rolls and doesn't make the double, if she sticks around in the 4-foot range, she will get that single point. But last rock here from Andy McDonald, looking for a hit and roll. It looks close. I think it's going to pretty much nose it. Eee. So unfortunately there's no roll, which is obviously not the way to make that shot. So it's another steal of 1 for Raju. Still a very close game on both sheets. We're going to take a pause. We'll be right back. Oh, ouch. Welcome back to the 2025 doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg. Looks like Megan Armstrong for Team Raju is going to be throwing a takeout. And it looks like the hit is made. It's going to stick around. Slight roll. It's been a low scoring affair, but it's also been all Team Raju for scoring the points. Steals of singles in the first and third end. There is a blank in the second, as we see the next rock coming from Brian Feldman Jr., known as Junior to certain people. I don't know how wide the circle of friends or family that call him Junior. At least it's definitely said a decent amount in the curling world. Looks like trying to draw around again. And it's a sliver buried. Definitely a stronger result than his first. And Raju wants David Best to make that yellow go away. And I don't think he minds that the red that's there also goes away. He's going to get the yellow to go, and the red will stick around. So good shot there from David Betts. Raju hits 3, and now the play is drawn to the wings. Or the rings. Abby Lynn gets set. And just one of the reds moving after like a red raise. The shooter also goes away. But it does improve the situation somewhat, as Raju is now sitting just 2. So Raju is thinking about maybe putting a rock on the left side of the house. Now he's looking to maybe draw around the front red with David Betts' second stone. This is carrying a little bit. I don't know if it's going to sit down. It does actually sit down. And it settles in the back 8 foot.
Open format, 50 has a lot speed.
So it looks like McDonald wants to try to hit and roll a little bit. This end is being brought to you by End the Game Curling, elevating the standard for high performance brooms. endgamecurling.com. So let's all right. Apologies for the delay or the interruption. We're going to be back as soon as we can.
So we said to Bob, if he was still above ground, that we would play with him.
So Darren Campbell's net shots, I think it's going to try to hit and roll.
But if you got him, that's fine.
And looks like we are, actually it's just a draw, which makes sense. Right on top of the Raju red. And that is good for a shot rock.
But Leanne's disappointed. I know. Because she had her birthday infected you like the week before life. And she was like, she was going, but she'd be super.
Well, she said Kim Susan was out.
Yes, that's right.
She said, oh, and I said,
So we're going to see Subs' first rock. I think just going to throw some heat at this.
That's right. Yeah. She was like, no problem. She's like, for super seniors.
I know, you reach a certain.
So it jams the yellow onto the red.
It's like to get a senior discount.
Yeah.
Well, they do the senior discount, it used to be 62. I know it's down to 60. Now some places are doing it.
Yeah, they're afraid to ask.
I know, and they
Again, I apologize for the ongoing technical difficulties.
pay for the ticket prices.
I thought we were going to be okay this morning, but we are not. I'll be right back.
Just funny, 'cause I can look for you.
So this next route from Darren is going to be a bit of a guard. Looks pretty good, although Raju does have some options to maybe raise the red that's in the rings, or perhaps draw around. So we are to skip stones here in the fourth end. And we are to skip stones as we see Raju get set in the hatch. So they're talking over their options. And looks like they're looking to maybe draw in front of the yellow. So calling for a sweep out of hands. This is a little, the way was up to, ooh, let's see what happens here. So we're going to have a bit of a hit and roll. And it rolls the red over the yellow to bite the forefoot. Let's see that again. This is a little, the way was up to, ooh, let's see what happens here. So we're going to have a bit of a hit and roll. And it rolls the red over the yellow to bite the forefoot. Let's see that again. So back from replay as Team McDonald has the broom down for their skip, Andy McDonald. So it seems like we're back on the live stream. I think the time away was very minimal. I apologize for the technical glitches. But I think we got it worked out for now. It's always fun when something goes wrong. All right, here's Andy McDonald's first shot. I think looking to I was gonna say looking to maybe go through the port. This is over curling for that. Oh, it's close. Ooh, oh. So it kind of whipped off of the two guards, opened it up, which is a plus, and then kind of pinballed over to the left. But it also did tap the Raju red in front of the rings up a little bit. So just a interesting interesting shot there from McDonald. So we are to the last of the skip stones. This is Raju's last without the hammer here in the fourth, holding a 2-0 lead over Team McDonald, looking to make it ever so more complicated for McDonald to get a multiple point score here, or even get on the board actually. Looking for T-line. Looking to sit 2 and then really make it very hard for McDonald to score a single point. This is curling well, and I think really a really good placement because it guards the red shot rock, and McDonald can't pluck it out really without running a lot of risk. So just going for a draw for a single point to draw within 1. And then on sheet B, they're at their halftime break, where Team Maxey was forced to a single point in the fourth end. The score is 1-1 on sheet B, and that is on the Coyotes YouTube channel. You're tuned to our feature game on sheet D, well, where we're seeing Andy McDonald throw her last, a draw for 1. Weight is pretty close. Need to go hard. They need to be basically full 4 foot, and it stops just a little short. They needed another 3 inches, and so it's going to be another steal of 1 for Raju. It's robbing season for Team Raju, as they have stolen 3 points over 4 ends, and just a very interesting contest so far. McDonald's hunting for a way to get on the board.
You guys want some sours?
And maybe give up the hammer at some point. So we're taking a 5-minute break, as they're going to take a 5-minute break. So we're going to take a pause in the action. We'll be right back to the 2025 doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg. We'll be right back.
Catch your breath. You're good. Of course. So can you join me?
I'm going to move that broom.
Yeah, it just bumped it. Sorry. Are we going to recalibrate now?
I know, I was like, we're going to have to pause the whole broadcast.
I'm so sorry.
No, we're good, we're good, we're good.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
Line over here. Away
from Abby's.
Everybody's around.
Abby's put hers upside down. So.
Abby, would you like any more?
Okay, thank
That's
you.
your back.
welcome back to the mixed fours tournaments, part of the 2025 doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg. It's been an interesting game so far. It's been a low-scoring affair as Raju's put a lot of rocks into the rings, and McDonald's been trying to find a way to score, but ends up unfortunately giving up a couple steals, or 3 steals to be precise. Single points each time. It's a score of 3-0 in favor of Team Raju, as the first rock from Megan Armstrong for Raju, for Raju went through the rings. So this could be the opportunity that McDonald is looking for here. Looking for the in-turn clockwise rotation guard, a corner guard to be precise. So with that guard made, it looks like Raju wants Megan to draw around on the outside. Going to the wings, it's going to be interesting to see how the rock plays with the wall on the left side of the sheet there. So it looks pretty good. It looks like it kind of slowed a decent bit and then crashed on the guard. It does kind of junk up that side of the rings a bit, though. As very quickly, Brian Feldman Jr. throws his next rock. And I think he was looking to draw around. And this is also coming up a bit light. So I wonder if they came back from the fourth end break and didn't necessarily realize the speed may have changed slightly, which happens actually. I hear this discussed at curling tournaments where the teams take a pause during the halftime break, and when they come back, the ice, maybe a little frost is built up, and so the ice slows ever so slightly. We'll see if David Bitts has the weight adjustment corrected in his delivery here. And this is going to be a guard. So I was joking yesterday that I don't know if you wanted to go in the house, but there's not been any Christmas trees in front of the rings. By which I mean like clusters of rocks that just really makes it difficult to get access to the rings, to the house. And it's the holiday season. I want to see a Christmas tree. Abby Lynn's first here. I think looking to maybe... I think trying to draw through the port. This is hanging out though, and is coming up light. So I think my Christmas wishes are coming true. That is a pretty Christmas tree in front of the rings. And I should say in front of the house, because you put a Christmas tree in the house or in front of the house. But just, goodness, the ice conditions. And also this play where the front is clogged up really is benefiting Raju to a certain extent, because when you don't have the hammer, you want to control the front and the center of the house and the rings, or the playing area. This looked like it's going to be a draw round, but it's heavy and it's going to not stick around. So, where McDonald has the broom for Abby Lynn. I think wants to maybe try to raise one of the yellows. Or maybe, I think raising one of the yellows is the shot here. It's over curling though. And this could be kind of a interesting scenario. So I think maybe needed just a little bit more weight to make that tap back successful. It does improve the situation somewhat, because Raju can't really raise the red into the rings, and there's not really a port down the middle, but there's no raise for McDonald either. As Sabastika things to the right, gets set. Going for an in-turn draw, I believe. Weight looks pretty good. Making the adjustment for the ice speed changes. You may sweep it to bite the very top of the rings. So McDonald has, I think, a possible hit and roll. And also would maybe push him to throw a little up weight. That is not where McDonald has the broom though. There though. Looks like she wants to try and draw through the port. It's a pretty narrow port if I saw it, how I saw it. But also the advantage is that maybe tapping one of the yellows back is not too shabby. But look at this, it clips the yellow and then rolls, so it's Christmas in Christmas time. One of the rejected Hallmark movie ideas I had. So. Yeah, they all have great rhymes. So in the warm room, the Hazards are telling me that there's a new movie called Reason for the Season, which, you know, I'm surprised it hasn't been done before. But then one of the stars of the movie is actually curling out of the Lake Tahoe Epic Curling Club. So yeah, very interesting. Although they do describe it as a fun fact or a useless fact, I don't know which. So. And then my holiday movie idea was, someone who wants to travel to a very thin strip of land connecting two other land masses for the holidays. I like to call it going to the Isthmus for Christmas. Although someone's actually done it, so I'm behind the times, as it were. Catching you up, Subs' second shot taps the red back to be shot. It's the only rock in the rings. Behind that Rocket Gibraltar wall that's in front of the house. So the rocks are favoring McDonald actually in front of the rings. Talking about establishing control. McDonald seems to have control of the front of the rings. This is over curling a little bit. But just a little bit of a ricochet and promotes one of the yellows to the 12-foot, which is good for second shot. Which, given how many rocks are in front of the rings, I don't know if McDonald can be able to bring it into play later in the end. But you can see from this head-on view, there's a lot of dread in front of this house. So maybe try to think of other holiday movie ideas. So Raju is walking back to the hack for his shots. And as I mentioned, we're talking about control of the front of the rings. So when you don't have the hammer, you want to have control of the front of the house and the center of the house as well. The front of the front of the playing area and the center of the house. And then if you don't have the hammer, you want to try and draw a play to the wings so you can try to set up a multiple point score. And in this case, it's been a battle for control of the front of the house. Looks like McDonald has done an okay job of having control of the front, having opportunities to raise her yellows into the rings, although it hasn't worked out so far. And now Raju wants to take that possibility away with the guard, but this is really, really light. Is it going to get there? It does not. So my goodness, this is a total change in how the game is being played. Just, I think, based on the ice conditions changing after the fourth end break. Because I've seen there's so many light stones, and we weren't seeing it before. Because the first four ends played fairly normally, and now we're seeing a lot of light rocks. And then when people make the adjustment, the rocks go through the house for the most part. But right now, it's been a battle to try to establish control at the front of the rings, and it looks like McDonald has the advantage in that aspect of the game, as Raju was light in his first rock to try to put a barrier in front of those guards. So now McDonald is looking to tap one of the yellows, and it looks like the yellow that is just to the left of the center line from this view, or the right side. As McDonald gets set, this is her first, and I think looking for a tap back, really looking for biting the forefoot. And this is hanging out. Oh my goodness. So this is going to hit and roll. It's now good for second shots. McDonald's sitting 2 and 3, and again, I don't know how she's going to be able to bring those rocks into play with so many guards in front of the rings. It didn't curl for what they wanted. The weight was good, because the rock probably would have gone to the back 4, maybe the back 8. But as it is, it opens things up. And for Raju, they're basically, if you see where Subs has the broom, he's pretty much just going to do the same shot with a little less weight that McDonald just threw and put up a guard or a blocker. So there's no pass to the button. As Raju gets set, this is his last rock without the hammer here in the 5th end. So a bit of a positive release, which I think is needed given how the ice has been playing. So the rock is going to go into the rings, and they're trying to get it to go deep, which actually worked out really well. I was thinking like light would be the miss, but in this case it really ended up in a good position, because it's going to be tricky for McDonald to get access to that red rock as Raju is sitting 2 in the rings. They basically should probably do a hack weight shots, a backline to hack. Basically enough to curl around the guards and just chip that red back. Maybe back line just to get a little bit more curl on the rock. You don't want to throw a missile at it because if you miss, you are possibly crashing, giving up 2. Even if you hit it with if you hit it with too much speed, you're probably going to roll away and give up another steal, which not the worst outcome. A steal of 1's better than a steal of 2. But at some point, McDonald needs to get on the board. So last rock facing 2. Andy McDonald with a hammer. Feldman jumps on it. Abby Lynn is helping to clean it. This is close. Needs to make sure it's around the guard. Oh, and it chips on the guard. So unfortunately, a steal 2. But another positive outcome for Raju. Well played at the end of the end. It's hard to say it was well played throughout the end because it was pretty messy, especially based on how many rocks you saw in front of the rings. So McDonald is trading high fives and hand gestures, trying to keep spirits up as they take this pause in the action. So aside from the ice slowing slightly and tricking up both teams, I think Raju's game plan has been working very well for that team. Teams generally have a strategy for each end of a game, and then they have an overall game strategy. I'm not quite sure what Raju's game strategy is, but it's hard to argue with the outcome so far. As we see the first rock coming from Maiden Armstrong. She's thrown into the rings almost every shot. Now let's see what she does here with the counterclockwise release. It ends up in the rings. In the back 12 area. Good placement. Now as Brian Feldman quickly delivers his first rock. Looking for a corner guard. Trying to generate a multiple point score. And get on the board and give up this hammer. McDonald has had the hammer for every end of this game, which is something you probably don't want in the entire game. But that is a guard, a good guard. And McDonald, Armstrong gets set for her next rock. And looks like I think Raju wanted it in the rings, and it ends up in the rings. Good shot. That was an in-turn draw. Raju is sitting 2. And again, Feldman is quickly throwing his rock, which is what you want when from a front end to throw the rocks efficiently. And this is going to get around that corner guard and settle into the 8-foot area just behind the tee line. That was a good draw there from Feldman Jr. So there's 3 ends to play, and so you can see the clocks in the background. Each team has 30 minutes to play 8 ends. And so McDonald is, I think, kind of on the bubble in terms of having the right amount of time. Each team does have a 1-minute timeout to stop things and consider their possibilities, their options. And it's always kind of a debate on when to call the timeout. There's a story I've heard where, like, someone at a competition is trying to find a way to, like, make a miracle shot, and they realize they probably should have called the timeout earlier in the end. And so they call out the coach and they ask, like, is there anything to do to try and make the shot? It's like, no. So basically they weren't able to really utilize their timeout because there was nothing to talk about. There was no shots. So Raju is sitting 1 and 3. And it looks like McDonald wants Abby to hit one of the reds on the right side from this view. It looks like we're going to get a little bit of a roll. How much of a roll is... Oh. Not too bad. Got a hit and roll, which is what McDonald wanted. It rolls on top of the yellow on the left and kind of creates a bit of a pocket for David Betts to hit. Pretty good overall. As we see, David Betts' next rock going for a takeout. Going to get a 1. Gets them both moving. That's a double takeout. Let's check the replay. David Betts' next rock going for a takeout. Going to get a 1. Gets them both moving. That's a double takeout. Let's check the replay. So that double takeout was brought to you by doubletakeout.com. Oh, we had a bit of a fall there from Darren Campbell. Hope he's okay. Has a bit of a smile. So looking to draw around the guard, but it's going to be a little light. So it improves the situation, or keeps the situation the same. Raju sitting 1 deep in the rings. That was, I think, the first rock that Megan Armstrong threw in the end. And so now Raju would like Sub Sangadurai to clear some of these guards, which is kind of the only area really where McDonald could start to generate offense. There's a couple areas, to be honest. As we see subs get sets. Going to clear one of the guards, and then the shooter is going to roll to the side out of play. That was a good shot there from Sangadurai. So it looks like McDonald is asking Darren to draw around the Raju guard on the right, which is a little dangerous. I say it's a little dangerous because the conventional wisdom is that you don't really want to draw around the opposing team's guards. Although sometimes you might not have much of a choice. Calling for a sweep. McDonald's going to come out and help. It's not going to get around that corner guard like I thought they were going for. But it does end up being shot on the back button. But it's exposed, and so Raju is just not going to. He's not going to take that sitting down or standing up. It's very rare when people sit down on the ice. The ice tats don't like it for one thing. So a sub-second shot, looking for a hit. And I think it's going to be close. Does hit the yellow, and the shooter will roll to the left. That is sitting shot. So Raju is now sitting 2 points. On the B sheet, the second semifinal, the contest between Team Maxi and Team Barajas. Barajas had the hammer for the first time in the fifth end, and they scored 2, which is what you want to do with the hammer. So this is Darren's first shot, or second shot, my bad. And looks like with the rock that subs just threw, McDonald would like to draw right on top of it. It's a little heavy though, and it's not a bad outcome actually. So it taps the red bat and then rolls on top of the other red. So now McDonald is shot, but Raju would like to keep it, would like to minimize McDonald's advantage as he's going for a hit. And there's a little bit of a angle. And also, Raju doesn't mind if he loses one of his red rocks at this point, as long as the McDonald rock goes away. Asking for curl. Now calling for straights. And it looks like it might jam. It does jam, but gets both of those rocks in the back moving. And now Raju sitting 2 again. That McDonald rock is gone. The other Raju rock is gone. That was a good takeout there from Raju. So as I mentioned, the B sheet game is being streamed on the Coyotes YouTube channel. You're tuned to our feature game on the MoPac YouTube channel, and we're very thankful that you guys tuned in. And then coming up at 12:25 or so, we're going to have our championship game between the winners of these 2 semifinal games. And that game will be exclusively on the MoPac channel. So we hope you'll tune in at about 12:30 Mountain Time, right here from the Coyotes Curling Club. So looking to, I think, this is coasting a little bit. I think they wanted to try and get around that corner guard, but it's going to be a little heavy, and Subs is going to sweep it to the back. We're just going to hang on by the hair of its chinny chin chin for third shot. So now Raj is probably going to just close the door and make it, again, difficult for McDonald to score even a single point. curling is an interesting game. The game, you want to make your shots, but a lot of the game, especially as you get more advanced, is capitalizing on the other team's mistakes or shortcomings and such. This has been a pretty well played game. Both of these semifinals have been pretty well played. It's just that there's been like little misses that, you know, have not worked in McDonald's favor, unfortunately. So this is the last rock coming from Raju, just looking for a front stone to just make it that much harder for McDonald to draw for a single point. And the shot was made. It's good for a second. Well, it's a third rock, I believe, but a second shot. So now McDonald's going to go for a draw, just for a single. Last rock here in the sixth end. She's not happy with it. Oh my goodness. Oh, and it's tough too because like if you're making these misses, like it's like you're kind of telling yourself, it's like you know how to make the shot, and it looks pretty close actually. I don't know what they're worried about. And they got a single point, they're on the board. So it was a lot of work, but Team McDonald is on the board. And they've given up the hammer. They have 2 more ends to try to steal their way into the final. We're going to take a pause in the action. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Mixed Fours tournament as part of the 2025 doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg. For the first time this game, the first rock is coming from Team McDonald and Brian Feldman Jr. looking for a center guard. And that looks like that shot was made. So it looks like Raju wants to put up a corner guard. It's still a fairly close game. It's a 4-point advantage for Raju, which definitely benefits him. But if McDonald were to get on a hot streak, a comeback is not out of the question. Okay, so I thought they were going for a corner guard, but this is just a draw close to a throw through. And I think Raju is happy regardless of how that shot turned out. So now McDonald is asking Brian Feldman Jr. to draw around that center guard. And talking about multiple point ends, we haven't there's only been one multiple point end in this game, and there's only been one multiple point end on the other sheets to this point. But there's been 5-point swings or 6-point swings throughout this curling tournament. It's been a pretty wild event. It's been fun to watch. And I hope you guys were able to tune in. That Feldman draw, I think, I don't know if it was lights. I don't think it was there though. Well, in terms of making it. McDonald's, I keep saying McDonald, Armstrong's next stone. This is also a rock meant to go into the rings. And this time it ends up on the tee line. So I wonder, we were talking about the ice maybe slowing down after the fourth end break. And so this is the first time that we've been going in this direction since that end. So I wonder if part of the first rock from Megan Armstrong was an adjustment and it was just a little too heavy and then she dialed it back ever so slightly. This is Lynn's first. Again, looking for a draw around, I believe, around that center guard. Asking for some curl. Waits a little light too as McDonald jumps up to help. So it was a little wide, a little light, and ends up being second stone. And it is in a pluckable position for Team Raju, as although he's actually opting to peel the guard, which makes sense. And that shot was made as the guard goes away and the shooter rolls to the side where it's not blocking the path. So McDonald wants to put a guard up. My question was, she needs points and she also needs to likely be in a position to steal. I think she needs to basically steal these next two ends. I mean, she could try to hold Raju to a single and be down 5 coming home. That's a tough recipe for success. I guess there's a time to decide when to be aggressive. And I'm thinking that time is now. So my thought was, and like maybe she's already thought it, was to tap the yellow in the rings back under cover to the left, and then be sitting shot, and then third rock, and then just keep piling rocks in the house, and hopefully scoring multiple points to steal. Right now, Raj is sitting 1. He's content to try to keep a clean house. And also full credit to Abby Lynch. She was asked to make that guard shot, and she made it. So that was a good shot by Abby. David Betts doing another clearing shot. And this rock is starting to mission accomplished. It's going to hit the yellow out. Shooter rolls to the side, and then a red that was hit also rolls into the rings. And so McDonald's going to go back to the guard. And we're to third rocks with Darren Campbell. So his rock is away. And looking for a guard. And it looks pretty good from Campbell. So McDonald is pursuing this strategy and they're executing the shots. I guess the question is, how does McDonald get into the rings to steal? And maybe she's banking on Raju to make an error as subs get set to do a clearing shot of her own. Looking for a hit and rolling out. And again, that shot is made. So you can call Team Raju a top 40 team because they're playing all the hits. And we're going to see Darren Campbell with his next rock. Again, I think looking to put the guard up. Calling for curl. It does finish pretty nicely with curl at the end. It does leave it partly open. So not too bad from Campbell. And I think it leaves the McDonald rock about 60% open. But Raju's asking Thengdadurai to just continue peeling the guards. And it's working for them, so why not? Although, this is where it doesn't work for them. So, I was talking about how as you get more advanced in the sport of curling, it becomes even more important to make your shots, but also to capitalize on the other team's errors. So perhaps one reason why McDonald was doing the strategy of guards was banking on the possibility of a slight miss like that. So now McDonald is in a position to try to shift play elsewhere to score a multiple point end. So I think that was the approach to this end, and it might work out for her and the team. And then for Raju, the clearing game was working out really well until it didn't. And so now the teams have to shift their strategy to respond to the changes in how the end is playing out. So I love this game. I hope you guys know that. I mean, I've been talking about it for 8 hours a day for 2.5 days. So this is Andy McDonald's first without the hammer, looking to pluck out the red on the left side of the rings. It looks close. Once it's past the guard, now they want to push the curl. And didn't get too much of a curl. But it does get rid of the Raju red shot stone, and now McDonald is sitting 2. And they are in a bind looking to make a steal. So I've been riffing on with the Devil Went Down to Georgia lyrics all weekend for some reason. But but yeah, McDonald is way behind, in a bind, looking to make a steal. So because that hit didn't roll that much, Raju is going to attempt the same hits, the counterclockwise outturn rotation hits, and I think hoping for a little bit of a roll himself. Calling for a hard sweep. McDonald's first rock was by the guard pretty nicely, but this one's going to wreck. Wow. So just an unfortunate miss there from Raju. There might be life in that old magic hat that Frosty the Snowman wore. I don't know why he shifted gears to Frosty the Snowman, but here we are. There must have been some magic in the old... Do they say what type of hat it was that they found? But when they put it on his head, he began to dance around. So there is an opportunity for McDonald's. As they were kind of shouting information back and forth. So going for, I think, a draw and maybe a little bit of a roll towards the center, or just a draw outright. Based on the weights, it looks like they're going for the draw. Okay. So I thought they were going to try and put another one in the rings, but they're happy with a front rock. Raju does have a hit, and even if it doesn't stick around, if they hit the yellow out, the most they would give up is a single. If they hit and stick, they would probably score a single. And I think McDonald is banking on hopefully a miss. And I guess also Raju could hit and roll for a single too. But just like a hit and stick, a hit and roll, those are both good outcomes. So for the first time this game, Team Raju has the hammer here in the 7th end, looking for a hit, for a single, definitely prevent McDonald from stealing. This is looks pretty close. Oh my goodness. And so that was, again, we've been talking about making slight misses, and that was a slight miss. And also the chance of getting a big end. And oh my goodness. So it is a ball game. As they scored, let's see them put this, as they exchange high fives. That is 3. They are within 1. So they need to steal this last end to have a chance. But my goodness, the fact that they were able to draw within 1 is an excellent outcome. So we're going to take a quick pause. We'll be right back as our event continues. We are back to the 8th end. It's been a crazy game. As you see, Brian Feldman Jr. throw his first rock. McDonald needs to steal the tie, single the tie, 2 to win. Raju just needs to prevent that to secure their spot in the championship game. So just a back and forth. One team's up, the other team's down, and then just like that, I snapped my fingers, if you couldn't tell. Just like that, you know, the position switched. So Feldman put up a guard, a good guard, y'all. As you see, Major Armstrong get set for her first. I think looking for a draw around. So when you are playing up 1, coming home with the hammer, you do have an advantage, but you definitely want to position your rocks in a way that you don't create opportunities for the other team. And that's a pretty good placement for the rock by Armstrong. So we were talking earlier that if you don't have the hammer, you want to control the front and center. And for the team that has the hammer, you want to keep things open. So by putting the first rock for red with the hammer in the back of the rings, you're keeping the front of the house more open, or as open as possible. And at least until after the 5th rock to the end, and then you can start clearing guards, which is why Team McDonald is so pressed, as it were, to put up center guards to try to create that front control zone to then draw around and be able to steal a point. So looking for a draw. This is coming up a little light, so this is going to be maybe more of a guard. Although it looks like it's going to slip into the rings. Actually, so the other factor in the equation is that sometimes you can draw in first and be sitting shot. McDonald is opting to ignore those reds. This is the 5th rock to the end. And so McDonald is asking Lynn to draw around and be shot. You know, part of the debate about playing this strategy is when do you go into the rings, depending on the situation. And it can be nerve-wracking because you wonder, like, is it now? Should I go now? And Team McDonald's opting to go into the rings now. Hard scrub from the sweepers, looking pretty good. It looks like it's going to get around the guards and be mostly buried. Right on the button. So that was a great draw there from Abby Lynn. So with the 5th rock to the end having been delivered, Raju is now looking to start clearing out the front, open up things to minimize opportunities for McDonald, and to keep the house open for a possible draw to the left, draw to the button to secure the win. So we have a missile coming down the sheets, and oh wow, yeah, that was a beautiful shot. Let's take a look at that again.
It wasn't even that heavy though.
Okay, so there's no replay. But that was a great clearing rock. That would have been worthy of a replay if the technology worked. So now, with McDonald sitting shots, the strategy for McDonald shifts to holding on to that shot stone. As we see Abby's last rock head down the ice, looking for a guard or a front stone. And this is going to be a guard. Now the question is, how much protection does it offer? And a decent amount. It's about half, I would say. It's high up enough that Raju could get to it if he wanted to. But in this case, clearing the guard is the strong it's a strong call. So looking for another peel, and that shot is made. Another good job there from David Betts. So again, we're going to go for a guard. And it should be a guard. I said a guard or a front stone. And I think really for this strategy to work, you want kind of a middle guard. If the guard is too high, it might not be as effective, and if it's too close, it sets up a potential double. So calling for curl. Oh no. This is not going to curl enough. The placement was good, especially based on what I just told you guys. And that we wanted kind of a mid guard. I say we, speaking generally. But it needed another stone to curl to really be in a place to be of use. It's partly covering the shot stone. But as I said, it's exposed on that left side. And so it allows subs a chance to pluck it out just like a grape on a festival tray or a party tray. Looks like we do have a final on sheet B. It looks like Team Barajas has punched his ticket to the final. And this shot from subs looks really good. It does hit, and the shooter rolls wide to the left. So well done from Thing to Durai. Some applause for the B sheet teams as they exit the ice. The final of the game was 5-2. So a hard-fought game, but it was Barajas finding the multiple point ends to take a 5-2 victory. So by keeping the center-ish guard up, it allows McDonald a chance to draw around again if they're able to make it. This looks a little light, and it needs to curl again. So I said light, it's coasting a little bit. Now McDonald and Raju are jumping in to help sweep. That is shot rock, and it is pretty well buried. So that was a good recovery for Darren. I'm pretty sure it's shot. Ooh, it's close. I think that red on the left could be shot. So we're going to have Sebastika clear the remaining center guard with her last rock. It looks pretty good. It does clear that center guard. The shooter goes out of play. So now we're to skip stones. And where McDonald puts the broom, I think will tell us who is shot and who is not. Because they're talking about maybe protecting. They do have a timeout. I don't think they've called their timeout. And then time-wise, they have over three minutes, I believe. So they have plenty of time. They have over 4 minutes, actually. So they played really efficiently. Well, especially with this end where the shot calling was pretty straightforward, where for McDonald it was put up a guard, and for Raju it was clear the guard until, the strategy shifted slightly. But now they're really thinking about what shot to make. And I'm going to ask the warm room, who do you guys think is shot? It's red? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
As you pointed to it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so everyone thinks it's red.
I pointed my rock too. I wanted to maybe teaser red and then throw something else.
So they're going for a guard, and I think there's some advantages to that shot. If they put a guard or even like top 12, I think tight guard. I don't know if you want to go in the rings. Because then basically you're setting up an area for McDonald to draw with her last, and that's probably the biggest advantage. And then the other advantage I see is that if Raju goes to clear the guard and he misses the wrong way, he could promote that yellow into the rings and set something up for McDonald's last again. But it starts with this shot here from Andy McDonald, her first without the hammer here in the 8th end. So the line looks pretty good. The weight is set for, I think, a middle guard, possibly tight. But that's kind of where I thought they were going to put it. My other thought was, and I'm sure they were considering very briefly, they didn't put a lot of thought into it, but like maybe like go to the red shot stone and then be sitting 2, and then, you know, but it does open up the middle for Raju to just draw and win the game, and provides backing because all these rocks are behind the tee line in the house. But that was a good guard from Andy McDonald. It's going to push Raju to peel the guard just based on where Subs has the broom. I mean, they could try to draw now, but they're not opting to. Because again, he wants to keep an open front of the house for that possible draw for the win. This is PN Raju's first. Looking for just clearing the guard. And this is it's close. It chips the red as the yellow goes through the house out of play. And I think, yeah, that was I think a potential miss that McDonald was looking for. And so now McDonald's sitting shots, and they want to put their rock in a place to make it as hard as possible for Raju to draw for the win. And McDonald could be in a place to steal the win. Just a very fascinating turn of events. McDonald did take their time out. Let's see if we can listen in.
Right?
Bunch of calls out.
Yeah, I called it. So you like it ended up here, so how much
Yeah, and it needed to move if you were out
right,
here.
but how much less room then?
I think we're about right here.
Really?
Maybe here?
No. I like your first one.
Well, I mean, you were out here.
No, I like
And we had to roll the whole way.
I like half that. Like not a little more. Yeah, not quite middle, but almost.
I like this right here, just on this side of center.
For sure.
Yep.
Okay.
But up here.
Right.
Just half or full eight. No deeper.
Right. Just barely fully.
Barely full eight.
Right,
Yep.
okay.
You got it. You just surge just a little more. Yeah, full eight straight, eight.
So the decision's been made. And you guys did hear what they were talking about. It worked finally. The on-ice mics picking up the timeout conversation. Yeah, there's microphones in the camcorders. I need a censor button, but so McDonald is looking to control the front of the house again. Hopefully, I think be sitting second shot and making it difficult or trickier for Raju to draw for the win. This is Andy McDonald's last rock without the hammer here in the 8th. Sweeping. The line looks pretty good. Now it's a matter of weight. And the weight is the question here. As all 3 sweepers jump up, they're going to try and carry it as far as they can. They would like to be full 8 foot. And it's just a wee bit short. So not too bad. It does cover the shot stone. The safest shot is for Raju to draw. Yeah, as the subs points to the back forefoot area. They are calling their timeout, and so let's see if we can listen in on this. It worked the first time. Okay, that sort of works. But they're basically just going for a draw. Drawing for the win. Right now, McDonald is sitting a single point to tie. And all Raju needs to do is deny McDonald that opportunity to steal. So he gets set in the hack. This is a tee shot. This is for a spot in the championship game at 12:30. This is PN Raju, last rock, 8th end. Line looks good. Wants to make sure it gets there. Sweepers are on it. This it looks a little light. They are really sweeping the heck out of the stone. I don't think it's going to get there. And it's going to be a little short. So, do you guys want extra curling? We have extra curling for you. That is a single point for now. I said that it was just one for McDonald, but they're going to put a broom, a measuring stick on those two rocks because, again, the cameras don't tell the whole story. Let's see if we can see how it looks from the other side. Can't tell. So, looking at the overhead camera in the warm room, oh, they look really, really close. Maybe it looks a little yellow. So McDonald has the tie. This is to see if there's going to be an extra end, or if McDonald is going to get their ticket punched to the championship game at 12:30 here at Coyotes. So we have our head ice official on the ice. She's been here almost all weekend, just very outgoing. Everyone seems to love her. So, my goodness. It's now time for the most exciting measure in all of sports. The pressure dial that's known as the measuring stick, or the measuring bar. So we got red measured. We're going to swing around to yellow. And the moment of truth, it's red. So we have extra curling. Oh my goodness. So the first half of the game through 5 ends was all Raju. But since then, it's been all McDonald. And so now we're going to see which team is going to be hot to go to the championship coming up next in just a moment. So the 2025 doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg is sponsored by doubletakeout.com, curling.gg, and Endgame Curling. Thank you to our sponsors for their support. Rocks in play. We're underway here in the extra end. As we see Brian Feldman Jr. throw a guard. Just barely got over the line. Cheryl will give you points for that. So that's a high guard. I used to joke and say that was a Snoop guard. So it looks like Raju is going to try to draw around that with Megan Armstrong's first, or maybe tick the guard. So this is it looks like it's going to tick. It does tick, and the shooter's going to roll wide to the left. So that was a good tick. You don't see the tick very often. Partly because, they reset the rock, so there must have been a 5 rock rule violation. My apologies for missing that. So, an unfortunate error there. Or was it a center line violation? No, it wasn't on the center line. So they're trying to put up another center-ish guard. I think approaching it from the other rotation, the counterclockwise outturn. And that is a center line guard. So the no-tick rule is in effect. So now, with those two center guards, Megan Armstrong is being asked to draw around them. Probably end up, I would guess, top 4 foot, top 8 foot, especially based on where Raju has the broom. And by the way, thanks to everyone tuning in. we have a great number of people watching, and it's always great to have people tune in. Feedback's also appreciated. And man, that is on the money. So Armstrong finished with a Bonzer shot. And now Abby is being asked to draw from the other side of the sheets with the outturn counterclockwise rotation. If it ends up as a guard, it's not the end of the world. Ideally, it'd be shots. It looks pretty close. Let me show you what I'm seeing. And it needs to sit down. And it sits down right on the lid. We're seeing some pretty good shots here in this extra end. Maybe both teams just needed some time to warm up. And now that they're warmed up, it's just full speed ahead through this last end. It's the rock is not buried though. So they could, Raju could try to pick it out if they wanted to. But they're opting to clear the guards, which again, we talked about it last end, why keeping the front of the house clear is so important. Which is also why McDonald had those two guards. And this looks close, yes. The clear is made. Full points to David Betts. And so now McDonald is going to ask Abby Lynn to throw a very similar shot with less weight and have it end up in the middle guard zone. At least that's my prediction. I haven't talked about it this much during this event, but the way I kind of picture these broadcasts is like being in the warm room like I am, just standing behind the glass talking about different shots and different possible outcomes, just kind of shooting the bull, as it were. So we're going to see hopefully a guard from Lynn. And this looks pretty good. I mean, pretty much where I thought they were going to put it. It's been fascinating to just watch all these tournaments and be a part of these broadcasts. So we're going to see another clearing action from David Betts. He's from wine country. Part of the team from Raju hails from San Francisco Bay Area. The other half from wine country, or at least one from wine country. So the clear was accomplished. Another stellar shot from Betts. And so now we're going to see McDonald try to put the guard up again with Darren Campbell's first. So we are in the extra end. You can see the clocks in the background. The clocks and the timeouts were reset for this extra end. And the teams had additional time for just this one end and one additional timeout. But any time or timeouts from the first part of the game do not carry over to the extra. So this out-turn guard is a little higher than Abby's first one, but is in a good position.
We're just going to watch the end of the game.
So once again, these teams are fighting for a chance to advance to the championship coming up at about 12:25 here on the MoPac YouTube channel. And then the winner of the championship gets to go to compete at the U.S. National Championships set for this spring in Denver. So there's a lot to play for. This is Subs' first shot. This is going to be interesting. Okay, so let's see if the replay is working. U.S. National Championships set for this spring in Denver. So there's a lot to play for. This is Subs' first shot. This is going to be interesting. So that turned into more of a race takeout. I mean, it was obviously a clear attempt, but I would think that Raju is happy with the outcome. Because it got the shot rock moved, but it got rid of one of the Raju reds, and then there's only one yellow in the rings, and so McDonald is going to try to draw around those center guards, which makes sense because we're talking about if you don't have the hammer, you want to try and draw play to the center of the sheet and in front of the house. So McDonald is coming up to help. This is light. So they're trying to sweep hard in the house. It's going to touch the paint. How far is it going to go? It's going to be almost full 8 foot. 4-second shot. And so that was a great save by the sweepers. And it's buried, so I would give that shot full marks. And also does help still maintain control of the center of the house. It's not shot though, so that's why Raj is going to go for the stone on the left side with Thagnadurais' second stone. Looking for a hit and a bit of a roll. Getting rid of the rock is probably not a bad outcome. This is hanging out. I don't know if it's going to come back or not. It does get a bit of a roll to the top 4 foot. 4 shots. Oh man, it was hard to do that any better. Let's check the replay. Getting rid of the rock is probably not a bad outcome. This is hanging out. I don't know if it's going to come back or not. It does get a bit of a roll to the top 4 foot. 4 shots. So that was a great shot from Subs. This is this is why we play the game. This is why we watch the game, for moments like this. So now that high guard, I think, works to McDonald's advantage. It's a bit of a tricky situation, but they're looking for like a heavy draw to tap the yellow back. And that seems to be the shot here. Sweepers jumped on it early. Now they're trying to coax it over. The weight is close. It seems slightly light. Needs to curl up a little bit more. So it taps the yellow up slightly, and the shooter's going to roll to the back 12 area. So it also shows that there's a possible draw to the button. But let's see if we can listen to see what Raju's talking about.
On this side, I think that's the shot to move it after.
The first thing I was thinking was right there.
That's your draw right here.
I mean, this is birdie. I don't know how they can get to it. It just.
All she has to do is get you right here. Get you right this.
Yeah, but if you throw a guard, if they get in there.
You're here, you're not.
Like on the R?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty straight over here, so.
I don't know if they can get around that. Is there a port?
That's the only one there.
That's maybe what they're going for after that.
I think a high guard. Well, you're a two.
Can you take the ports there?
In between?
Yeah.
I think it's really, really tight like this. I think she's hitting it here.
So that's probably what they're playing next.
Okay.
Because I don't see any other shots for them. I think, yeah. I don't mind putting this up.
Okay, and then you're going to look for this draw.
Yeah.
That's hard right there. This is an easy shot.
I think if you do that and she goes here, then you don't have to break the shot.
But the other thing is.
Okay, we're using that. You like this? Two? You can do one under. Okay, got it. Right here.
So that was a pretty productive conversation. Hopefully you viewers at home got some benefit from it, which is why I keep trying to do it. So it looks like they want to put up a guard. They want to try and take away as many possibilities for McDonald and basically force her into the harder possibility shot. So they're looking to put up a guard and kind of block that path on the right, which McDonald just threw, so that makes sense. They talked about the port down the middle, and they said it's super narrow, and I would tend to agree, but it seems to be there. And this is Raju's first, going for a guard. The weight looks like it's going to be a tight guard or in the top of the rings, although it just slowed right there. It's going to be close to a middle guard. And so now McDonald has to consider her scenario. Let's listen in on that.
What if we just did it with back 8 weight and came to button right here?
It's a back.
No, the same shot, just not the tap. Huh?
We go this way and top our own or no?
Yeah, like that's the option. Option one, we try to get around the guard enough to like pass nose. We basically have to hit nose or more to get this red to move. Or we just come to like tap it to side button. And then he's got to do something.
I like the tap when I see them down here.
I think the tap's more reasonable. I think it's going to be way harder. Well, that guard is hella high.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It looks like it's there.
Either way, what if we like called both?
Yeah.
Our time's running out.
I think they're marginally close.
This is the shot.
It's either that. Yeah, I think this is the shot. I don't think this cut's enough for me.
Yeah. You're gonna like it when you see it down here.
Okay.
Where'd you like to
What kind of weight do we like? What's the weight called?
see with this back here, yeah, back 8, back line.
Back line.
Yep.
Edge of red.
Edge of red.
Stick it here more. I really don't think it moves.
I don't think so either.
That was a very illuminating discussion. So I switched into the shots of Abby in the delivery side hat because the discussion was going through the port, and Abby was saying that Andy would really like what she sees when she gets back to the delivery hat, because there is a port. It's pretty narrow, but it's possible. But she needs to get through the port, and here we go. Her last shot without the hammer needs to be sitting shots for a chance to steal the win. And so they asked for backline weight. It looks like it's tight on the guard, and it crashes on the guard. Oh, goodness. So, but points to Raju, literally, as teams exchange handshakes. And that is going to do it for this draw, as Team Raju punches their ticket to the 1225 championship game this afternoon, coming to you live from Coyotes Curling Club. That was a tough shot. And, you know, being the ice call was important. The weight call was important. It was just a little outside. So, what a finish, though. Hopefully you guys got your money's worth with this competition. And we're going to wrap things up. As David puts the score down, yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in. Just a reminder that this broadcast is presented by authority of the Mountain Pacific Curling Association. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Mountain Pacific Curling Association. Seeing those two players on the ice and the backboards is touching to see. That's also part of the game right there, as you've seen. But the stage is set for the championship at 12:25 this afternoon, Mountain Time. Tune in to the MoPac YouTube channel, where we will see Team Raju, who you just saw win, out of San Francisco Bay Area Curling, take on, and Wine Country, by the way, take on Rajas out of San Francisco. It's going to be a Bay Area battle, and we'll have it for you at 12:25. So, as the warm room gives applause to the teams coming off the ice, we're going to say farewell until 12:30 this afternoon. This has been your host, Ryan Olson, saying good day and good curling. We will see you at 12:30.